West Course at the Wentworth Club in Surrey is primed and ready for 4 days of duelling as 16 of the world's greatest players go head-to-head in the HSBC World Matchplay Championship. Good afternoon. When Arnold Palmer claimed the first prize in 1964, it was for a cheque of £5,000. 43 years later, they're chasing a cheque for £1 million. It's the richest prize in golf. And just as appealing, I'm sure, is the thought of picking up this beautiful trophy and joining the likes of Palmer, Player, Nicklaus, Ballesteros, Norman, Faldo and Els, some of the game's greatest players who've all won this championship and this trophy. And it's going to be tougher than ever this year because we have assembled here at Wentworth one of the strongest fields in history.
Hey world, here don't tell me not to fly, I've simply got to. If someone takes a spill, it's me and not you. Don't bring around a cloud to rain on my parade. Don't tell me not to live, just sit and putter. Life's candy and the sun is a ball of butter. Who told you you're allowed to rain on my parade? I'm gonna march my band out, I'll beat my drum, and if I'm found out, your turn at bat, sir. Hey, at least I didn't fake it, hat, sir. So what? I didn't make it, but whether I'm the rose of sheer perfection or freckle on the nose of life's complexion, the cinder or the shiny apple of its eye, I gotta fly once, I gotta try once, only can die once, right, sir? Ooh, love is juicy, juicy and juicy, I gotta have my bite, sir. So get ready for me, love, 'cause I'm a comer. I simply gotta march, my heart's a drummer. Don't bring around a cloud to rain on my parade.
It's Michael Campbell looking forward to the defence of his title, I'm sure, and we are looking forward to the next 4 days here. We'll be concentrating on events at Wentworth very shortly, but we'll also be keeping an eye on events at the Madrid Open in Spain, because that's where Northern Ireland's Darren Clarke is making a welcome return to the game a month after the sad death of his wife Heather. Now, Darren hasn't played competitively since the Open at Hoylake in July. He's preparing for the Ryder Cup in Ireland next week after being named as a wildcard pick for the European team. And Darren determined to give it his all this week and especially next.
I know Heather would have wanted me to play, so I made myself available. I would have missed it if I didn't think I could contribute. But the fact that you know, I've played reasonably well in Ryder Cups in the past. It's in Ireland and it's Matchplay. Matchplay was a huge reason for me playing, and you know, I just have enjoyed every one, and I plan to enjoy this one too.
And it's good to see Darren back. This is the situation in Madrid. Darren has completed his first round. He's 4 under. And at the top of the leaderboard, it's Lucan of France who leads the way on 7 under par. 2 other European team members there, Olazabal and Harrington. Roderick still to go out, and Olazabal with a 1 under par round for today. And it's not just us who will be keeping an eye on events there, because the European team captain Ian Woosnam will be firmly fixed on his players there, and many of them here as well at Wentworth. Now, Woosie was here yesterday playing in the Pro-Am. I had a quick word with him about Darren's involvement in Madrid and also about the kind of captain that he would like to be.
I want to be an inspirational captain. I've got the experience of playing in it before. I've seen the other captains doing it, and you know, as I say, we've got fantastic 12 players. You know, they can go out there and play themselves, but I've just got to say the right things and get the pairings right, and obviously you've got to have a little bit of luck as well.
Are you sleeping well?
No. No, when I went to the doctors yesterday and got some sleeping pills.
Is it that stressful, seriously?
I think, you know, obviously the most stressful thing now is for me is doing the speeches. You know, standing up there and doing that. You know, I'm a professional golfer, I'm not a speaker. I'm a country bumpkin, and that's one thing I've got to get used to.
When you look at the way some of the team is really beginning to come back into form, it must fill you with a lot of hope. You saw some good stuff at the BMW at Munich. And what are you hoping this week for Darren Clarke? What are your hopes for him in Madrid?
Yeah, I just hope Darren just goes out there and enjoys it. You know, I hope he doesn't put too much stress on himself by feeling like he's got to perform too well. But you know, we went out to Ireland last week. We had a bit of fun. Darren was hitting the ball beautiful. You know, there might be a few shots here and there, but you know, it's match play. And you know, if Darren does well, it'll be great. But the rest of the boys played fantastic in Munich, and if they can play well here this week and knock some of their guys out, will be another boost to our team as well.
So 5 Ryder Cup players for both America and Europe on duty here at Wentworth. 8 matches in the opening round to enjoy, the first of which went off at the unearthly hour of 7:36 this morning, and it featured the defending champion Michael Campbell. He was playing debutant Simon Kahn of England. Campbell a little out of sorts on the front now and found himself 2 holes down, but the former US Open champion fought back. This win at the 14th gave the New Zealander a lead for the first time, and he'd consolidate that advantage with an eagle at the 18th. 2 up for the #1 seed at lunch.
It was a 5:30 alarm clock. It was very, very early for me, but yeah, I managed to claw myself back to 2 up after a pretty poor start. But besides that, you know, I'm happy with the way I'm playing today.
Fascinating matchup between David Howell, the current European Tour leader, and 8-time European #1 Colin Montgomery. Monty was 2 up at one stage, but Howell began to stage a recovery over the closing holes. This putt at the 16th with half his deficits. And the man who won the BMW title here in May, a beautifully played bunker shot here at the 18th, got him back to all square on the way to their lunch.
I didn't play very well. Yeah, I've hit the ball appallingly, and I'm delighted to get in all square. I feel like I've dodged a bullet. And the way I was hitting on the range this morning, that was my goal, to get in and still be in this match at halfway and hit some more balls at lunchtime and hopefully find a bit more form.
A low-scoring, high-quality stuff in the match between South Africa's Retief Goosen and European Ryder Cup team member Paul Casey of England. Goosen, who was 4 under par for the first 9 holes, looked in impressive form, as this measured long putt at the 17th would confirm. But Casey hung on grimly to him, and with a birdie at the last, they will resume this afternoon all square.
We both started off fairly well. I think I was probably 3 under for the 9 and down in the match, which is pretty good going. A little bit scrappy around the middle of the back 9 there, especially. I knocked one out of bounds, unfortunately, on 17. Still made 6 for the second ball, but it wasn't good enough. So, yeah, I mean, it's probably fair, all square after 18 holes. And actually, probably I feel better about it because I was a couple down at one stage.
Now, Australia's Adam Scott is playing former Masters champion Mike Weir of Canada in match 4. Nip and tuck in this match, but Weir began to pull away on the way back home. This terrific approach to the 13th allowed him to go 3 up, and he would eventually settle for a second hole advantage.
How do you enjoy the match play format? I love it. It's fun. You know, we had a great pace out there, and you know, it's a change. You know, we don't get to play it very often, so it's fun when we get to play it.
So we're 2 up. Now, world #2, Jim Furyk and Sweden's Robert Karlsson could face one another next week in Ireland, so this is a genuine Ryder Cup warm-up. Karlsson playing some quite stunning and inspired stuff today. He chipped in here at the 14th, and he began to hold them from everywhere. 7 birdies in 10 holes from the 9th to stretch to a 5-hole advantage over Furyk. And Karlsson with the round of the morning, in effect, a 64.
Prime position going into this afternoon's round.
Yeah, I mean, it's another 18 to play, and it's a pretty. I couldn't have also very much more than this. It was just good game of golf, and just enjoyed that there, and I'm going to do the same in the afternoon.
Great to see Ernie Els back in this championship again. The 6-time winner missed last year because of a knee injury, but he's involved in a battle of the big men here against Argentina's Angel Cabrera, whose approach to the 11th was indicative of his accuracy today. Cabrera was 1 up with 2 holes to play. But Ernie, though, is right back in this, as you might expect. A lovely putt at the last was tantalisingly close, but still good enough to win the hole. Els 1 down, and his house is so close, perhaps he'll nip home for lunch. Luke Donald is Britain's highest ranked player in the world at number 10. He's up against South Africa's Tim Clark, and Luke showed his fighting qualities at the 14th here. This putt would take him back to all square in the match. And his momentum took him in front for the very first time at the very next hole. So birdie from Donald, and the man from High Wycombe holds a one-hole advantage over Clark.
It's always nice to have a little lead. I knew it'd be a tight match with Tim. We've got very similar games, but you know, hopefully I can keep doing what I'm doing this morning, make some putts.
Now, the bookmaker's favourite to win his 6th tournament on the bounce is Tiger Woods, and he's up against fellow American Shaun Micheel, who had the bit firmly between his teeth this morning. Woods seemed to struggle on the Wentworth greens. A very un-Tiger-like miss at the 9th this, and that would see him go 3 down. No complaints about Woods' long and medium and indeed short game, as witnessed by this approach to the 13th. But once again, it was the putting which would let him down. That one went a-begging. And Micheel, who chased Woods all the way to the tape at the recent US PGA Championship, really has the initiative, because at the 15th, he took a full hole lead over Woods. The world number 1 did reduce his deficit with a birdie at the last, so Woods 3 down at lunch. Now, it's all go here. Remember, this is a 36-hole contest, and this is the situation. It was Can who won the 6th this afternoon to go all square in the competition with Campbell in their match. Colin Montgomery started in a blinding way, he really has. He's now gone 3 up against David Howell, who won the 5th after going birdie at the 1st and 2nd. Paul Casey's taken the initiative over Retief Goosen. He's 1 up now as well, and no change in the other matches so far. So all to play for this afternoon. Remember, it's the best of 36. It's a long old day for all of these players. It's still and it's calm so far, and that's only in the commentary box. I wonder what we'll be getting this afternoon. Beautiful day for golf, gents.
It most certainly is now. It was very heavy and rather gloomy early on, very humid, more like Singapore than Surrey. But this is the finest field we've assembled here for many a year, although you must remember all the greats have played here, going back to Walter Hagen, to, well, who else has come here? You know them all, don't you? The Palmers and the Players and the Hogans, and everyone's been here. And the conditions now, well, it's gone a little bit dark and overheading. We had watery sun for an hour or so. The Players been pretty good. It's been a mixed bag. Robert Carlson's been absolutely unbelievable. But we had some untidy stuff. Tiger Woods going round, for example, in an approximate 72. Now, that's not Tiger style at all. And it'll be fascinating to see how he fights back this afternoon against Shaun Micheel, who's no pushover. He's one of those steady players like a Jack Russell that he's always sort of there and snapping at your heels. So this is Ernie Els, who's won half a dozen times round here, playing Cabrera. He's 1 down at lunch. Here they are on the opening green, and here's Ken Brown.
A little bit of moisture on the green still, heavy overnight rains. So you'll see plenty of balls stopping quickly. Nearly an inch of rain fell last night, so the green's perhaps a little slower than the players anticipate. This is a match between 2 of the biggest hitters in the game. Angel Cabrera hits the ball a country mile, the Argentinian. And he gives it a good ride as well. Cabrera currently 1 up after the morning's play. He was round in about 67-ish. They played some good steady golf. Paul Eels out with this match. Is the wind still freshening a little bit, Paul?
Yes, it is, and it's bringing in some dark clouds as well, Ken, so we could be in for a spot of rain this afternoon.
Well, now in match play the players are allowed to have an extra putt, but we don't want them wasting too much time, because if the weather does close in, then we've got 16 players in the opening round here at Wentworth, so we don't want them going 32, 33, 35, 38, 40, 42 holes. We want it finishing on time. Paul Casey with a putt to win the hole at the 4th. This for a 3, which would be an eagle, and he's done it. He holds an awful lot of putts for eagles, this lad. He's not quite sure how many he gets during a year, but he's our eagle man. 2 up.
Front pin at the short second, the par 3.
Look a bit carefully here, Ken. It's very easy to pitch on the green and spin back down the hill, isn't it?
That'd be simple to do. You've got to make sure you don't spin the ball too much. Gives you an idea of the hole. The flag today is on 8-4 from the left-hand side in a fairly open spot with the wind into your face slightly off the right. You've got to be careful. You pitch by the hole side, and at the front of the green there's a big slope, so you can spin the ball off there if you're not pretty cautious.
148 yards to this flag. 9 iron for Ernie.
Six-time HSB World Matchplay champion Ernie Els didn't get a chance to defend last year. He was going for 4 in a row, had his knee injury.
Well, Ankel this morning was having a lot of backspin with his iron shot, so he's really got to hit this one past the pin here.
Just when he needed a bit of spin, it didn't arrive. Colin Montgomery's had another birdie, now 3 up on Howell after 5 holes. Tremendous start from Montgomery, 4 birdies in 5 holes.
Looking back to the clubhouse and the first tee.
On the tee, please, Luke Donald.
Donald 1 up against Tim Clark after the morning's 18 holes.
On the tee, Tim Clark.
The voice of George Hammond, who's been the starter here, the honorary starter for every occasion we've played this great championship, 43 years.
Very similar styles, these lads. Not long hitters, Clark or Donald. Straight hitters, good short games.
Just pulled it up the left side. He's okay.
For this match is John Grant, and the match marshal is Ted McCready.
Now there's the situation. 18 holes played, another 18 coming up, unless you, of course, you get the job done early. Campbell all square, all of a sudden leading match. He was ahead going out, so Simon Kahn making a good fight of it. Montgomery started off in a blaze of glory, as has Casey. Carlson and Furyk halved the second, birdie 2s, so he's remaining 5 up with holes running out. We saw Els and Cabrera halve the first. They're both on the green at the second. They'll come over the bunker on the edge of the second to find Ernie.
Well, these balls equidistant from the hole. PGA referee Steve Cox said it's Ernie away, this for a 2.
Very uncharacteristic putt. Ernie's gone back to a putter he used a few years ago to win the US Open.
Up to the 5th, Paul Casey, 2 up. The second of the short holes, they come early on the first 9. slightly lengthened, the alterations done by ground staff here, and Ernie Els, Chris Kennedy, the course superintendent. Retief Goosen. Two down. That could be good. Beauty.
Angel Cabrera for a 2. Sort of 1 or 2 putts this morning, just like that, and not quite firm enough. And legendary, these greens here at Wentworth, how tricky they are to read. Little subtle breaks and borrows.
Well, we certainly saw that with Tiger Woods. He couldn't get the line at all, or the speed. He hit the ball pretty well, but he had an awful lot of putts that he must have thought were going to go in. And that's a good concession, a generous concession by Cabrera, only at least 3.5 feet away. Quite an amazing round from Robert Carlson. Furyk round, was he 2 or 3 under par, approximately 69. Found himself 5 down.
Retief Goosen for a 2. A little movement from the left. And we hear that's to half the hole.
Well, we were just talking about Casey holding putts for eagles. He holds more long putts than almost anybody I can think of, Casey. I'm talking about long putts, 10, 12, 14, 16 yards, 30, 40 footers. Well, if he's held a putt from the top of the green here, I mean, poor old Goosen here may demand a saliva test.
What a start from Casey. 3-2, 4-3-2. Tim Clark going with a little fairway wood. A lot of players have got 5 woods in the bag this week. Oh my.
Oh. That's a good shot. You know, that's a funny one of the rules of golf, isn't it, Ken? That if he had actually stopped when he felt the branch against his club and stopped and a leaf had come down, that would have been a penalty. If he'd carried on, it's okay. That's one of the rules are very complex in golf. He got away with that well. Look, he must have had a practice swing before. Now he goes back. Now, unless he had a practice swing, now he clatters there. Look, now most people would stop, but he played through it, which you have to do. It's one of those rules that are totally abused by club members because they're just ignorant of the fact. Here's Luke Donald. He's got to find the green now. He's his opponent, and he could have done with one more. Greens are holding. You can fly them all the way. Well, we've been lucky. There's been no rain, and hopefully it'll stay off for another 5 hours or so. Forecast of the weekend is pretty good, and ticket sales, Ken, have gone up. They went up some 60% for this event because, well, people primarily say because of Tiger being the most charismatic player in the world at the moment. But it's a busy first day, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. And got 6 of the world's top 10 golfers here. The world number 1 Tiger, and Jim Furyk, who's world number 2. So it's a pretty high octane field. Luke Donald in at number 10 on the world rankings.
Jim Furyk 5 down and manages to stay 5 down. They're having a tremendous battle. They both started 4-2, 4-4, but Furyk 5 down with holes running out. And of course, remember, next week it's the Ryder Cup matches at the K Club, just 15-20 miles west of Dublin, and a number of these matchups may happen again next week. So if Carlson goes through well, and Howell's struggling a bit against Monk. Well, one of them, they're playing each other, 2 of the European side. But there's some players here can take a lot of confidence to the matches next week if they perform well here. And the reverse of that, of course, if you get well and truly done, 6 and 5, you don't go with the happiest of hearts.
But rested legs.
Yeah. Looking back down the third, Elson Cabrera. See a couple of new bunkers on the left. I'm surprised you didn't tuck one over there on the right, sort of just almost in the edge of the rough. Just to really give you a sighter. Some bunkers, architects put them in really not for you to go in, but they're just direct which way the hole flows.
The third is 464 yards uphill all the way, always a long par 4. Both players play with the left side off the tee. Cabrera slightly longer of the two. And the flag today on the back ledge of the green. Just about 3 paces above the little rise, so that back ledge not easy to get the ball on. What sort of distance have they left themselves here, Paul?
Well, Ernie's got 200 yards all the way back to the flag, and our Argentinian friend is 190. Angel's really hit some booming drives today. He has 349 yards down the 17th, so we'll be keeping an eye on those. The pin here is 29 yards on, right in the centre of the back step.
Now, Ernie could afford to take plenty of club here. There's a bank behind. You don't really want to go up there because there's a tricky little chip back. But he doesn't want to land it halfway up the green and get some backspin and end up at the front of the green. So with the greens holding, you can be bold today. You can really go right at the top of the flag because the ball won't run more than well, a few feet if it's struck correctly. First tee, Tiger.
Well, a change of clubs for Ernie's gone from a 4-iron to a 3-iron. Going to try and hit this as high as he can. Carry it onto the back step.
Wanted a bit more, just 1 step short. It's okay. There's quite a few steps, yards behind the flag before you go to the little gully at the back of the green and the step up, which is about 7 or 8 foot high.
Tim Clark has putted up, not holed, so this is for Donald to win the hole, up the slope at the first, and oh, good effort.
Now, will it be a half in 4, move on, or will there be a little bit of putting to be done? Oh, hard game.
Well, this is a free drop here for Angel. He's just standing at his first ball and was bringing up water around his feet, so he's allowed to have relief from casual water it is, so he's had a free drop there. Still got 190 yards to go.
Tricky one. Well, it's down the slope. Rips it in the back of the cup. You'd have to give his short game 9.5 out of 10. Really high quality.
Well, it'd be very interesting to see what the break has done for Tiger, whether he can find a bit better form this afternoon. Playing par golf this morning and really not finding his touch on the greens.
Like a 3-wood, something with a bit of loft on it, just trying to get it to the top of the hill. Really, you don't want to go over the top and end up on the downslope if you can avoid it. There's no advantage in that.
On the tee, Sean McKeel.
Excellent position from Tiger Woods. Steve Williams is a fairly long-time caddy now, and what a tremendous partnership they've forged together.
Sean McKeel just lost a fraction of momentum by losing the 18th to go to just 3 up, but what a morning it's been.
Extraordinary, rather extraordinary looking swing of McKeel, sort of picking the club up, not on the line at all, finding trouble immediately down the right-hand side.
Is Simon Higginbottom, and the match marshal is Nick Todd.
Now it'll be fascinating to see. We've often said how players who are in the heat of battle for the first time, how they're going to compete. Now here you have the world's #1 player battling away. He's 3 down, fighting to get back into it, as we look at Montgomery, who's playing some tremendous golf this afternoon. Oh, superb shot. I find it fascinating that, thinking of Tiger, we've said so often, Ken, about young players coming in. Can so-and-so win? Can he hold his game together? Tiger is up against it today, but if he's given opportunities, like it appears he might have done at the first hole, McKeel driving in the bunker, he could win this opening hole with a 4. He's only got a 6-iron or something to the green. But it'll still be interesting how he tackles the problems of the day.
Yes, this morning he struggled on the greens. He finished with 2 birdies in the last 3 holes to go round in 72, and the way he's been playing, that's a pretty high score. So Tiger's certainly been struggling a little bit, but he is the world #1 against the world #77, so he's still favourite, I would say, but not quite as much as when he stood on the first tee this morning.
You know, since the US Open, which is only a few weeks ago, he's played 25 competitive rounds, that's including this morning. 21 of those are under par. He's had 3 rounds, 72 has been his highest score. The first round, the Western Open, second round, the Deutsche Bank, and the 72 this morning. 450 holes, 100 under par. I mean, it really is quite staggering. And he actually looks as if he enjoys it. I know he's a tremendous competitor. He's well, he's a genius. We're lucky at the moment to have several people at the top of their games. Federer's one, who's an absolute genius.
Howell at the 7th. 2 down up the slope. Little ledge. And no. Oh!
No, that's illegal. That is illegal. It's all very well you putting on your shy smile, young man. That is an indictable offence. He's still smiling. He looks like a Cheshire cat. And why not? Poor old Monty. What a body blow. Monty just gathering himself. He must have been thinking, well, he'd probably take 3 from down there and have a couple for him. Phew. Shirt sleeve order. Very muggy, hot and muggy this morning, but a wonderful turnout. Monty's all set. This to halve the hole. He's there. And he'll give him a rueful smile, I bet, as he goes off. Yeah. Colin bounces his way along the fairway.
He does. Especially when you've had 5 birdies in the opening 7 holes, everything bounces.
This is quite an intimidating bunker now on the right-hand side of the first, and I don't think there's any way that McKeel can get to the green. It's such an upslope in front of him. He might try and give it a mighty whirl up in the air, but I think he'll only get it onto the slope up to the green.
No, I don't think there's any way he can get that on the green. If he gets it within 30 yards, he'll be doing well.
Nowhere near, down the bottom of the dip.
Yeah. Now, this is the opening. He's given Tiger an open. Tiger now has to find the green, have a putt for a 3, and get a hole back immediately. If McKeel does lose this opening hole, it's just the very start he did not want in the second round. Big inviting target. Looks flat and inviting. The flag pretty well on the front part. Only 14 steps on the green. Ideally, you play it just a little bit right of the flag. If you end up on that side, sometimes the ball will just jumps and spins down the slope towards the flag. I think he likes it. Perfect distance. Putting uphill. Advantage Tiger. Yeah, so 25 competitive. Only one round over par, and that was a 71 at Bridgestone.
Second green, and Luke Donald. No. Like Cabrera's, just drifting off at the hole side. Donald stays one up.
Ernie Els at the third, coming up the slope. Come along, come along. Cabrera remains one up. Both of them started 4-3-4, which is par.
The tour was, well, the Asian Tour was in Singapore last week, and only lost in a playoff to Adam Scott there, the Singapore Masters.
McKeel's got 112 left to the flag for his third on the first, and it's still not an easy shot. He's so far below the hole now, below the green. Can't see it at all. And he's got to be thinking, get it to within 4 or 5 feet, ideally.
I think he'd be pleased to get it within 10, Julian. You still have a putt for a 4. And that's, oh, unlucky. This wonderful backspin doesn't always work in your favour.
From Memphis, Tennessee, former USPGA champion Sean McKeel, like Tiger Woods, playing his second World Match Play.
This is the final match.
Montgomery drifted it just into the right-hand rough under the tree, second to the 8th. A glorious run. Well played, very well done. Never easy when you catch a branch on your backswing. It's easy to sort of flip you out of plane.
This lake lies in front of the 8th green, much more attractive now. Spreads down the left-hand side. Maureen Medills with this match.
Yes, and things are really hotting up here in this match. The scoring's improving. David Howell's 150 yards now. He's going in with an 8-iron. Needs to start firing at the flags a bit more than he has been.
Both players safely on. Back to the first.
Tiger won this first hole with a par to McKeel's 5 when they set off at 9:30 this morning. Possibility he could do it again, but he'll certainly be looking to make this birdie putt.
Did he spend a bit more time on the putting green before he went out this afternoon?
To be perfectly honest, I didn't have very much time between morning and afternoon, so I was grabbing a quick bite, which is probably what he was doing.
Always thinking of the inner man.
It's very important. An army marches on its stomach.
Well, that's why you're so cuddly.
Somewhat too cuddly, some would say.
No. Built for comfort, not speed. Now, by his great standards, this is a fairly, if there is such a thing in the world of golf, an easy putt. You shouldn't be frightened of rushing it past. It's a little bit of movement, not an awful lot, just a nice strike at the hole. No, he's just not able to draw a bead on the line. He seems to be pretty well striking the putts nicely. And McKeel has a swinging putt here, Ken, for a half.
Yes, quite a lot from the right and a little up the hill as well. But the great thing about match play, with a putt like this, it doesn't matter about the return. You've either got to hole it or you lose the hole. Allows you to be a bit more authoritative and Give it a run at the hole.
Big get out of jail if he makes it, though. And he has looked very proficient with this blade putter on the first 18 holes.
Well, this would be a big, big plus for him if he could hold this and get away with a half. Yeah, to be 3 up and lose the first hole immediately after lunch. And you wonder if Tiger's going to strike form and polish you off about 4 and 3. Just too high. It's a good effort. But he loses the hole.
Wins the hole in 4. McKeel is 2 up.
Well, Angel's ball has found the front right of the green in 2. Ernie's got 219 yards. Currently 1 down in this match. First 3 holes halved in pars. Got to carry the front left-hand bunker on a direct line, or bring it in from the right. 4 iron for Ernie.
Well, he looked to clip that one nicely, Paul. Yeah, beauty. You could almost hear the zing as it zipped into this tightly cut fairway. Super shot. Par 5, you see driving a 4 iron. It's a mere bagatelle for the big boys, but all downhill from the tee, which is up the top round the corner.
The 8th and Colin Montgomery for 2. It's been a birdie buffet for him this morning. Oh my goodness. That seemed to turn up the hill almost.
Yeah, but he's putting nicely. He struck that beautifully. Now to the second tee. Tiger with the honour.
157 to the flag today. Just a little bit of breeze in his face. He's going with an 8 iron to try and hit it softly. Don't want this spinning back down the slope.
Nice and safe.
Now a chance for David Howell. Monty just missing. Colin Montgomery is to win the hole. Never on line.
He putts very well now, David Howell. Looks a bit ungainly, doesn't look all that comfortable, but he's got a very good stroke. Because he's able to hit it on the line, which is always a good thing.
Sean McKeel's also got an 8 iron on the second. This morning he pitched it just on the front of the green and spun it back down the slope. Made a very good up and down 3. He will have learnt from that, hopefully.
It was a very strong grip, so he's always having to hold the face open, otherwise it's going to hit the ball a long way to the left. And he finds the dance floor, so both making sure they pitch it past the flag and don't spin it off the front. Tiger Woods, since the Open Championship at Hoylakes, including that one's won his last 5 starts. Incredible run of play.
People have asked me where they stay. I presume they have the same system, Ken, as they've had here for certainly 40 years, and that is renting out some of the houses round and about on the estate and close by, where the players are set up for a week, and they have a housekeeper and a cook and a full larder and everything. Here's Clark at the 3rd.
It's 2 nice woods and just clambers on the front edge. Tim Clark and Luke Donald, the longest of hitters, but accurate. Fairway wood for Donald. Lovely shot.
Great shot, carried it all the way. Retief now is 4 down. This is a long putt up the hill. Well, that's the one that David Howe holed. Now, to finish off that point about the players are very cosseted here. They're magnificent homes around the estate, and they're ensconced there for a week.
Long-range chance for Angel Cabrera for an eagle. One of the quickest putts on the course. Good touch. Some fairly generous concessions taking place in this match, so I'm sure that'll be flipped away.
Left to right, down the hill for Ernie, this to square the match. The quality of golf here has been absolutely sensational today. Just need 1 or 2 putts to finish off the great play from tee to green.
And that won't be conceded, I'm sure. Alliss had 3 bogeys this morning, and Cabrera so far has not dropped a stroke to par. Yes, he has. He took 4 at the second, the par 3 this morning.
McKeel for a 2 at the second. They're all missing it on that side. There must be a subtle little bit of borrow there that's hard to see. Everyone's drifting down the left-hand side of the cup at the second from behind the hole.
Just right of centre with just a little bit of speed. Yep.
To another man on fire. Montgomery's playing some great golf. So is Paul Casey. This at the 8th. Sorry, at the 7th. Looks like a half in 4. So Casey so far has made 4 birdies and an eagle, and 2 pars in these opening 7 holes.
Tiger for a 2 at the second. He got one. He'll be mightily relieved.
Quick turnaround there, though.
Absolutely. It's exactly what we were saying, wasn't it? McKeel lost the first hole to a par. Tiger's on a roll. He's got 2 holes back, and he needs another one. If he gets another one back in the next couple of holes, the confidence, McKeel's confidence, starts to be eroded.
Just looking at his card, he had 33 putts this morning in his 72, Tiger.
A tee for a half at the 7th. A lovely stroke that was. So simple. But he's 4 down.
And 172 yards from Montgomery, and this pin should suit him. It's tucked in on the right, going in with a 6-iron. And from a little further on, David Howell, he's got to just keep Montgomery in his sights here while the Scotsman is firing on all cylinders like this.
Not bad. Ryder Cup colleagues next week, of course, and somebody's got to win, but if they have a good match and it's a fair battle, that won't be an erosion of confidence.
Half and 4. Good 2-putt from Tim Clark from the front of the green.
Cabrera at the 5th. Yes, he pulled it a touch. No, he's okay. And it just stays on top of the ridge. There's Ernie's ball on the left of the flag. Good shot from him.
Tee, and Tiger Woods is going to give this a bit of tee. Oh, the clubhead speed is breathtaking.
There's no run at all, unless you just happen to skid on a bit of downslope. Big drive.
Sean McKeel flirted with the bunkers down the right-hand side this morning. Doesn't really set up for his shape of shot this hole.
Well, that's a good hit.
Quick update on the overall state of play on this opening afternoon. Michael Campbell has gone back 1 up. He didn't start very well this afternoon with 3 bogeys in the opening 6 holes, but he's back on top against Simon Cahn. And Colin Montgomery, as we've been seeing some excellent play from the Scot, 2 up, the man who's won 4 times in total on this West Course at Wentworth. Paul Casey, excellent progress. He's now 4 up.
David Howell. At the 9th. Looks good. Oh, he's rattled another one in. Monster putt at the 7th. And another one at the 9th. Out in 33, started with a 5. Colin has a putt to be out in 30. Carlson 4 up on Furyk, just 1 a hole Furyk. Donald 1 up on Clark. McKeel holding. Oh, that's well, it didn't make any difference. He'd already lost the hole, so that's out in 31 for Colin, and only 1 up. So this match is going to be pretty lively on the Homewood 9.
Fifth green, and Angel Cabrera putting down a little ledge here. The hole in a little hollow in the right back corner of the green. There's a little slope. That's got a chance. Oh, it's straightened up on him. Lovely touch. 2 good putts at 4 and 5.
Down from behind the 3rd. The final match, Woods and McKeel.
Uphill par 4, 464 yards, playing its full yardage. Tiger Woods launching another one out at 293 yards. Little low cutty, safe one. Second is uphill, and club selection never easy. You've got to be pinpoint accurate.
McKeel's got 193 in a 4-iron. Hit a beautiful shot in, just pin high this morning.
Just killed it on the final slope. Not bad. The putt is so much easier if you get up on the level bit. Tiger's won the first two holes of the afternoon. What's he got here, Julian?
He's got 179 left, and he will definitely be trying not to replicate what he did this morning when he pitched it on the top level, right at the back, looked immaculate, spun back right off the green. Most extraordinary shot.
Shades of Valderrama. Remember that, when he spun one right back off the green in the one of the Amex events there years ago, and he's done the same. No, he hasn't. It's stuck. Ball is virtually plugging much of the time, and they're landing on the green, on the fairway, or the fairway. But he's in good shape there.
Players having to hit the ball a little softer, which puts a bit less backspin on it, and hit them a little lower. Particularly when you've got as much clubhead speed as Tiger, you can really get the ball to zip if you're not careful and spin it back.
Else strikes it, he's moving away. Yeah. Time and time and time and time again. That was to win the hole, get back to all square. But 'twasn't to be. Cabrera stays one up.
Short 10th, and David Halpin tucked behind the right-hand bunker. And he said after his morning round that he hit the ball badly.
The way he's putting though, Ken, he holds those. I mean, that's the perfect length for him.
This sets up so nicely for Colin, who likes to hit the ball left to right.
Montgomery's shot on the way, and it's online and a little bit strong, but a nice shot.
He's played 9 holes in 31, has only gained 1 hole, Colin, so he knows he's got his back to the wall if he's got to be careful.
Final match on the 3rd green. Tiger 4 down at lunch, won the first 2 holes of the afternoon's play. Michael Campbell 1 up on Simon Kahn. Casey 4 up on Goosen. Mike Weir 2 up on Adam Scott. Carlson 4 up on Furyk. Cabrera 1 up on Ernie. Else, Luke Donald 1 up. And this man, Gilles, 1 up. 37, and of course he came out of the interesting thing when you get a virtual unknown winning a major event. So much is written about you, much of it negative. You know, the sort of thing, how did he manage to win that? And fancy him winning when so-and-so was in the field. And it can erode your confidence, because he's a good player, this fella. But sometimes you don't believe it. You sort of read all the stuff that's written about you, and they're saying you're not much good. And it can creep in and erode your confidence. But don't be surprised if he beats Tiger, but he can't let Tiger jump away and win holes with pars.
Well, he'd really been struggling because he had a very low testosterone level, didn't he, which he discovered middle of last year, and it's made a big difference to him.
I've had one of those for years. Good putt, nice 4. Make Tiger win the holes with birdies. He looks comfortable enough, Julian. McKeel, he doesn't look nervy.
No, I think he's very comfortable, loving every minute of it.
And I wonder if that fringe is just going to impede the putting stroke of David Howell fractionally.
Delightful touch again.
Well, Andrew Cotter's joined us in the commentary box. I'm just going to slip away for a cup of tea and leave you with Andrew and Ken.
Thank you, Peter. Good scoring this afternoon. I think all the players had a little think about things at the halfway stage, and they've come roaring out of the blocks, especially Montgomery and Casey. And here is Casey to go 5 up on the 8th against Retief Goosen. quite happy to stay 6 under after 6 for his afternoon round.
Tiger to win 4 holes in a row. Just a touch of left to right, I think.
It's like a half and 4.
Get the feeling that if he really wants to win, then he will win. Not seen too much of this match. Michael Campbell against this man, Simon Kahn. Not great scoring for the New Zealander or the Englishman, but it's a close match. A deliberate player, Simon Kahn. Up the hill to the 11th. Quick old putt across the green. Severely sloping green, the 11th.
10th green in Montgomery for a 2. Howell is in for his par, so this is to win the hole. Half and 3 from 2 players that have had tremendous success at Wentworth. PJ champion here, Colin, and he's won this title. Of course, Howell going for the Wentworth double. He won the BMW Championship earlier this year.
Defending champion, and at the moment just about on course for a place in the last 8. It's been a funny old year for Michael Campbell. Hasn't quite kicked on from the heroics of last season. Became only the 4th player to win the US Open and World Matchplay in the same year. Can you think of the others? Ken's scratching his head.
Sorry, I can't help you there. Gary might have been one of them. Seve might have been one of them, but I'm only going for the big winners.
Seve?
Of course, he didn't win the US Open, did he?
The answer will come soon, I promise. From either deep in the archives of our brains or some more helpful people. A streaky player, Michael Campbell, though. Everything has to be aligned, the stars up in the sky. He has to feel absolutely right before he really succeeds in tournaments. Such a talented player. The man has shouted to get in the hole is being escorted from the premises. Heart is always in your mouth when Tiger takes his driver in his hands. Campbell back at the 11th.
Nicely done. Something else becomes a bit more tricky. It's little chips around the greens when they're soft. You've got to make sure if you're going to get them to run, you hit them low enough. Otherwise the ball can dig it on the first bounce. Not exactly throwing birdies at each other in this top match here, Kahn and Campbell.
I'm going to throw another teaser out to which I do know the answer. Only 3 Americans have won the World Matchplay in the last 27 years. The clue to one of them is that one of them did win it 27 years ago. Only 3 Americans in the last 27 years. It really has been the domain of the Europeans throughout their pomp, the Faldos and the Ballesteros and Langer and Sandy Lyle as well. All World Matchplay winners.
Hazell Irvine is a name that's coming to me, Andrew.
I'm sorry to hear that, Paul. It's not correct. Two putts to win the hole there for Simon Kahn.
Now, Andrew, what was that question again?
3 Americans in the last 27 years.
The one prior.
Oh, the one prior. That
Yep.
was who he's looking to become only the 3rd player to win the US Open and the World Matchplay. Or he was only the 3rd player to win the US Open and the World Matchplay in the same year, Michael Campbell.
Well, in '98, Mark O'Meara won.
He didn't win the US Open.
He won the Masters and the Open, that's right.
Yes.
Drat. I'll put my thinking cap on again.
Okay, please come back when you have the correct answer.
Yeah, okay. Could do better.
Anyway, yes, and 3 Americans in the last 27 years. That's the state of play at the moment. Montgomery, Casey, Weir, Carlson, Cabrera, all to the good. And McKeel only just up in his match against Tiger Woods now. Luke Donald 1 up and Tim Clark.
From behind the 8th green, the fellow in black, Adam Scott. I thought this morning he looked to be striping the ball. He's currently 2 down against the Canadian Mike Weir. This has been a match of quite a few birdies, but a lot of bogeys. Adam Scott originates from Adelaide. 26 years of age and ranked number 5 in the world, one of the most promising golfers. And just a fractional improvement in his putting generally, and he'll be up there taking on Tiger Woods on a regular basis. He's a supremely talented player, helped a lot by Greg Norman when he was starting out.
Cabrera to go 2 up on the 6th against Ernie Els. Oh, all the way. If he puts well, Angel Cabrera is a very, very dangerous player. Makes a lot of birdies. The mighty distance he smites a golf ball.
Birdie for Mike Weir, moves 3 up. Lovely approach there.
Sean McKeel's got quite a long way to go with his second shot on the 4th. He's got his little nerdler out, the 5-wood hybrid club. 241 to the flag. He's got to go in over a bunker if he wants to get close to it.
Just coming round. Must apologise to Paul Eales if he was talking about Hazell Irvine and US Open winners who've gone on to win the World Matchplay, because he did just that in 1974.
Absolutely, Andrew. I was a question behind you, and that was right. Hazell Irvine won here and also US Open.
Like the 2 Ronnies. David Howell second to the 11th. Oh, spin is good. Very good. Fantastic shot from David Howell. Puts the pressure on this man.
Well, Montgomery knows that there's a friendly slope behind the pin here. He's got to throw this all the way up.
Spin is a bad thing. There you see the difference. Same spin, very different result.
Great line in for Tiger. Second shot to the 4th from 204 yards. He doesn't have to go over the bunker if he doesn't want to. He can go left of it. Looks like it might be a high 6-iron coming up.
Oh, it makes the downslope, just carries the bunker. Didn't think he was going to make it. Could see the club just getting snagged up a little bit, but from where he was, it's a reasonable result. Sprinkler head there. Might just get a drop. Just depends if it's interfering with his swing or his stance.
I think Montgomery has conceded David Howell's little birdie putt. This is to half the hole then, and to stay 1 up. It's developed into a very, very good match, this. It was very close in the morning without being tremendously high quality, but the quality certainly has picked up in the afternoon. Monty with 5 birdies in the first 7 holes. And he knows he can be very aggressive with this one.
A little bit off the left here from Montgomery.
All square for the Ryder Cup teammates.
Monty will be feeling a little bit disgruntled the fact his opponents hold 2 such long putts. He'll be thinking maybe he should be ahead in this match, but it's all square. Move to the par 5 12th. Casey at the 9th. This would take him out an amazing 28 shots. And he's, straightened out then. So he stays 4 up, but it's a splendid front 9 holes. 29. So the 12 seed at the moment ahead of the number 5 seed Retief Goosen.
This for Furyk to half the hole against Robert Karlsson. He was just beginning to claw his way back against the enormous Swede, but he's gifted one back. Certainly, we saw Paul Casey out in 29. The lowest outward 9 in match play history is 28 from Ian Woosnam in 2001.
Tiger getting relief away from a sprinkler head just next to the green, which would have impeded his line of swing. PGA referee Simon Higginbottom is the man who's adjudicating. So just marked his nearest point of relief, but meanwhile it's Sean McKeel putting for an eagle.
Quite a big break from left to right, and as it dies it'll swing quite a lot to the right. Not bad. Tiger's out with the driver, so he may well get his ball onto the fringe grass out of that little bit of semi.
So he marked the nearest point of relief, and then he can take 1 club length from there and drop within that, dropping it away from the sprinkler head. Free drop, of course.
He looks to have just gone up against the cush.
Yeah, I think he's been a bit unlucky. He 3-putted here this morning.
It doesn't seem entirely at home on the greens here, Tiger. 72 this morning and looking rather uncomfortable. The greens you sort of have to come to know and love.
He had 33 putts this morning, which is quite a lot for a player of his quality around here. That's an approximate, of course, with some being given, but there or thereabouts. But he's got a different look about him coming out this afternoon. He's got the "you're not going to beat me" look.
Actually, and even if he doesn't hold a tournament in the highest regard in his personal quest, he's still got that ultimate competitor. He could play him in a bounce match, I'm sure he'd want to win.
Do you think he doesn't hold this in high regard?
I think he hasn't in the past.
It was always going to be awkward where he dropped his ball there. Just tricky. Could have bladed it perhaps, or putted it. Starting to go with a 9-iron back foot and shunt it forward.
142 yards back to the pin. It's a tiny area of green here where the flag's cut.
Down where Howell and Husson were. Maybe a little bit further. Oh, we saw Howell hold it from there.
Well, having seen Ernie's ball spin back down to the front of the green, Hazell must keep this to the right of the flag. He's only got 132 yards to go. Just going to drive in a little 9-iron.
It's quite a big misjudgment. This second shot plays a bit uphill, so it plays a little further than its yardage, and perhaps if there is any breeze it may be catching him out, because you can afford to pitch it beyond the flag here. There's a bank there, so they're both prime 3-putt country now.
And this is still quite a tricky putt for Tiger to make his birdie. I know what Andrew's saying about the tournament, but this is now a world ranking event, and I'm certain that Tiger's not turned up here to come second, especially on the first day.
I can think of a million reasons why.
Yes.
Nope, not even close.
Different type of grass here to many of the tournaments that he'll play in the United States as well. I know he's a world-travelled player, but well, he's collected a bit of cash in his time. So a million reasons for winning this week. He won $1 million just about in his first season. He's won $77 million in his career so far.
Nicely done from Sean McKeel. It's a little bit of a gifty. It's very rarely that Tiger Woods doesn't make birdies on simple par 5s. Well done, Michael Campbell. Match all square. He's playing Simon Khan, the Englishman.
Having watched Campbell roll in that birdie putt, Simon Khan does the same. Oh, he's got supporters. Match remains all square.
Well, on the whole, David Howell's been quite fortunate here because his tee shot clattered further into the trees and it was thrown out rather nicely more towards the fairway. He's got a reasonable lie, 227 yards to go. He's had the 5-wood out, seemed ready to pull the trigger, but is at the moment having second thoughts, and I think it's because he feels that the 5-wood might get a little bit too much elevation quickly and might just clip the canopy that is some few yards ahead of him. Montgomery, meanwhile, in his accustomed place, middle of the fairway, and it looks like David Howell is going out with an iron. Now he has to watch the ditch that runs across and some 25 yards short of this green now. He's got 192 to clear that ditch.
I'm just trying to punch it down the fairways, but would have preferred it on the short grass. If he finds a decent line there, it's no problem. Might eliminate some of the backspin on the ball.
Sean McKeel has already found the left-hand side of the 5th green with a 4-iron, 215 yards to the flag, down on the bottom right level, playing into a gentle breeze, but there is definitely a bit of wind to be considered up there. Ideally, you land it just on the top level and let it trickle down to the hole.
That will not trickle. That will leave him with a very, very quick putt. Sean McKeel also coming down that slope towards the hole.
Els to 2-putt and win the hole with a par. Hoses it in, 3-putt from Cabrera. Els wins the hole in 4. Cabrera is now 1 up.
It's a very pleasant day, no escaping the fact that it's autumn now. Usually played in October, the match play, but shunted it forward to September. An acorn falling, or a fish leaping, or a golf ball landing. That's how things stand at the moment. The top 2 matches could go all the way indeed, and perhaps beyond that. Michael Campbell, Simon Cann all square, David Howell and Colin Montgomery. Howell in a wee bit of bother on the 12th. Paul Casey, though, really has taken that match against Retief Goosen by the scruff of the neck. Mike Weir's always been in control against Adam Scott, as has Robert Carlson against Jim Furyk. Cabrera winning the battle of the big lads there. 1 up after 7. Donald and McKeel also in front. And here is Ernie against Cabrera.
Well, Ernie's going to go with the 3-wood here. The strip of rough cuts across the fairway. It's 276 yards to carry it to reach the second part of the fairway. Helping breeze.
You see, he's trying to force it down to the second part of this fairway, which is very small indeed. A strange decision from Ernie. He knows this course far better than most. 6 victories in the World Match Play. Seve and Gary Player both had 5 apiece, and they both came. Six came in 2 consecutive runs of 3 in a row: 94, 95, 96, and then 02, 03, 04. Was of course injured last year.
Just got to favour the right side of this fairway because the ball tends to kick to the left.
And Montgomery has seen his opponent, Howell, play a delightful pitch from 70 yards up to 3 feet. Montgomery's playing, he's not got a great lie here. Thin grass lying on compacted mud.
That is a fantastic shot. So easy to pop that in front of yourself in the bunker.
Often much maligned his short game over the years. He seldom needed to use it throughout his pomp in the 90s. That was tidy indeed. Sean McKeel down the hill towards the hole at the 5th. Lovely effort.
Stephanie McKeel, who is expecting a baby but following her husband around faithfully around 36 holes.
Pretty pleased with what she's seen so far. Radiant. That's the chap in the red cap I'm talking about. Just having to hold off a bit of a Tiger fight back. and checked that Tiger run with a win at the 4th, Sean McKeel. It's a putt to win the hole, but it's a fairly decent 2-putt from here. Look at the break. Gimme, gimme, off to the 6th. Perhaps. Oh. Mm. Tigers is good. Sean McKeel won't mind, Ken, not having a putt award. It was slightly longer than Tigers, I suppose.
I think particularly when you're behind, you make sure that if there's any chance of anybody missing a putt, you give them that chance, but confidently hold by McKeel. 2 down, moving to the 6th. Holes, well, not running out, but Tiger needs to find some decent shots or an odd putt to go in. Beautifully done. Really does get the ball rolling end over end. Half in 4, match all square.
Up ahead to the 13th, Simon Khan's second shot. This match also all square. Just wanted a little bit more spin against Michael Campbell. Just further down the right-hand side off the tee. Good view of the green. Better for distance.
Starting it down the right with a bit of draw. And, oh my goodness, that did have a bit of zipper-rooter on it. Nicely judged from Cabrera.
Technical term for spin, zipper-rooter. There'll be no zipper-rooter in this one. Coming out of the rough for Ernie. Doesn't need it. Fantastic shot from Ernie Els, especially having seen Cabrera knock it into 10 feet. The psychology of match play. It's a wonderful game.
Well, that was a beautiful shot from Ernie, sand wedge from 106 yards, and both players birdied this hole this morning, so this could happen again. Ernie still 1 down now.
Khan just over borrowing. Finished second here at the BMW Championship earlier in the year.
It was that good finish and his finish in the European Open, which sees him playing here this week.
Oh, Michael, not firm enough. Was hoping it was going to hold its line.
On the 11th, Casey, this for a birdie. And you're 4 up and rolling them in from 25-30 feet. Golf can be a cruel game for your opponent. Retief Goosen can do little, but I think he'll have a putt for a half.
Well done. Simon Khan makes his 4. Half in 4. Winner of 1 European Tour title. He won the Wales Open a couple of years ago. I always wonder why he doesn't do a little bit better. He's got a really classic swing from Chingford.
I think a few of the Chingford boys are here today. Now this is a Retief for the half. Casey 5 to the good. And holes rapidly running out for the South African.
Oh, I thought it was going to escape him. Cabrera's in for his 3, and oh my goodness, give him. Oh, don't bother. These two could go round in about 2.5 hours. Half in 3. Not sure they'll be so generous later on in the day, but that, I have to say, was rather kind.
Do you know your toadstools, Ken?
Nope, I don't know my US Opens, my toadstools.
They may be mushrooms. I don't know the difference between a toadstool and a mushroom. I'm sure we will get answers. I just know not to eat them. Strange things can happen.
Now Montgomery is hugging the left-hand side of this fairway, and because his preferred shape of shot is left to right, he's just going to be skirting these left-hand trees. He's got 171 yards, beginning, interestingly enough, to just be a little bit disturbed by movements in the galleries and so on, which certainly wasn't happening earlier in the round. He's got a 5-iron here. I can't ever recall being on this west course at Wentworth when there hasn't been a breath of wind.
And pretty good for distance. You do notice a lot of noise when you're out there because of the trees, the enclosed nature of the course, and big crowds shuffling down the tunnels that each hole provides. And if there is a noise, Montgomery will notice it.
Now David Howell played a couple of fairly ropey shots early this afternoon, and I had a few fears for his back, which hasn't really been behaving itself very well recently, but he really has settled down. He's hit some extraordinarily good shots, but it was his putting that got him back into this game. And again, he's down the middle here, he's looking straight down the flag here, and you just can't help but feel that he's getting the bit between his teeth now.
You mentioned the injuries, Maureen. He has a constant battle, it seems, against injury. He's got upper back, lower back, neck problems, and he seems to be accident prone as well. But he says he's fine, and certainly fine for next week as well, and events in Ireland. Right over the flag.
Awkward spot this out the tangly rough, second to the 7th. Hanging light. Oh, that was almost inevitable. Scuff it along the ground. Trying to get the ball up quickly and you just catch the ground behind the ball. Donald's a couple ahead of him, 2 up. In the perfect spot on the fairway, or on the fairway anyway. Left side's probably a bit better than right, but looking like if he can make a par here, he's likely to go 3 up. Every chance he'll go 3 up. Superb. Lovely rhythm. Plenty of acceleration of the club.
Tiger with his hordes of admirers behind him. Second to the shot, par 4. Well, it's getting longer by the year. That's pretty good on the Tiger scale. 7 out of 10.
Khan second at the 14th from an awkward spot and a bit of knee dip, and obviously the ball settled down in the rough. It's a par 3 and he's played 2. Age 34, world ranked 82, second here at the BMW Championship. His first appearance at the HSB World Matchplay. And he's still right in this game. As I say, it's not at the highest standard of play we've ever seen, but he's hanging in there, the match all square. Holes being rarely won by Bird, is it? It's people taking bogeys that are winning holes, but this is a chance for Campbell. It's been conceded. In for a 3. Losers in the first round today take home £60,000, so not a bad 36 holes pay.
Well, Ernie's second shot, he's 154 yards away, had an 8-iron out, gone for the 7. Whatever air there is here is just into his face. 291 yards the tee shot went, just trying to squeeze this one in nice and low.
Some angry old clouds still hovering around, but mercifully stayed dry this afternoon. Swing is a thing of beauty. And the result's not too bad either. One down to Cabrera.
Opportunity missed for Howell, turning a bit more than he thought. And Monty with a bit of work to do. It's certainly not been conceded.
Tiger on the 6th, right to left putt. To get back to just 1 down against Sean McKeel. Oh, hello. I'll see that one in.
It's still Colin, well done. Got to hold your nerve, it's a little downhiller. That is the half in 4.
Does very well on the return, but he still doesn't look entirely at home on the greens. Simon Khan missed that longish putt for par on the 14th, so Michael Campbell sneaks in front with 4 holes to go. Colin Montgomery and David Howell all square with 5 remaining. Casey in control against Retief Goosen with the holes running out for the South African, as we mentioned, and Mike Weir likewise in control against Adam Scott. Robert Carlson 4 up against Jim Furyk, the world number 2. Cabrera 1 to the good against Ernie Els, and Luke Donald moving further ahead of Tim Clark, and Sean McKeel 2 up on the world number 1.
Quickly back to Simon Carl off the 15th. It's okay there. He's got to cut it round the trees, but he's just far enough to the left that he'll be able to have some chance of finding the green.
He's down with the Campbell fans. They had silver ferns on their caps.
Another custom they've had for many years here. A lady with the players' names on boards, and they stand by the balls.
That's well placed down the left-hand side, right into the corner there. Lovely view up towards the green. Julian was mentioning it. Slipping down the world rankings at low testosterone levels. He had a sort of alcohol-based rub, which he would rub into his shoulders, and suddenly all was right with the world. And he's hoisted himself back up to 77th in the world. Finished runner-up to this man in the USPGA. Tiger just fizzing away up a little Baffy wood.
Short 14th. David Howell. Rhythm looks even a little quicker than it sometimes is. Quite timing the ball.
Well, he wasn't at all pleased with the way he played this morning, Ken. He said he played like a 12 handicapper. Considering he was round in an approximate 71, it was quite a good round for a 12 handicapper. Playing better certainly this afternoon, but this man also is. Once more, great distance from Colin Montgomery. Similar shot to this morning.
Hills after a super approach. Oh, I think he thought he had it. Glided over the left edge of the hole, so another half. Cabrera one up, both players out in approximately 33 this afternoon.
The Goose, who's very nearly cooked against Paul Casey. Yeah. That's a lovely touch. But Casey is in control at the moment. The galleries at the weekend here will be enormous, vast, pretty big today.
Casey down one of the fastest bits of green on the course.
Just loading up with carbs. Now after that lovely little flop shot. This is only for a par at the short par 5. One finally drops.
Hasn't really found his A game this season. Retief Goosen, still a splendid player, but hasn't played quite so well. bash. Centre cut, another birdie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 birdies so far in the opening 12 holes, and an eagle, the rest pars. So this is a tremendous afternoon's play from Casey.
Dormy.
And 6 up, yep.
So even if Retief were to win the remaining 6 holes, they'd be into extra holes, and I don't think it will. Again, Campbell just with the upper hand against Simon Kahn, but that match Howell and Montgomery, there has never been too much in it, and that one looks destined to go the distance. A lot of them about at the moment, 4 or 5 in our house. Good beasties, they eat the bad beasties.
No, he hasn't. Oh, it would have been a shock to Colin Montgomery's system. A little bit of mud on the ball, back foot, chip and run.
Now from down in the valley on the 7th up towards the green comes the world's greatest golfer. It wasn't the club, you know. A wee sideways glance at Stevie Williams there, his caddy.
Yeah, chance for McKeel here. He doesn't know that Tigers have all settled in the longish fringe grass. It's 2 up. And that's a delight. That's bliss. You can't see where the ball is finished because it's a little uphill, but he knows it's close from the applause.
Tremendous competitor. His closing out of the 2003 USPGA Championship with a 7-iron to inches was one of the great finishes in major championship history. Now Monty to go 1 up on David Howell. Still a little bit of work for Howell to do.
Sweet little girl. With their Tom Weiskopf top on, eh? He hasn't missed too many of these in the last couple of seasons, but this to half the 14th. I'm struggling to pick a winner in this match. Match is all square. I think Montgomery's tee to green game is definitely superior, but he's hanging in there, Hal, with his deadly putting.
To the top match, Simon Kahn on the 15th, 1 down, but a birdie putt against Michael Campbell. And that is a quick putt.
Using that putt across the green seems to almost go both ways. For Cabrera.
Campbell now to go 2 up with 3 to go. Too much. Now, we asked you a question earlier. I'm sure you've been phoning, emailing, writing in your droves. Became only the 4th player to win the US Open and the World Matchplay in the same year. He joined, now we gave you one of them. He joined who Hazell Irvine in 74, we told you, through the medium of Paul Eales. Gary Player in 65, and Ernie Els, who won at Oakmont in 1994 and won his first World Match Play in the same year at the age of 25, which is just showing off.
A couple of important putts coming up here. Khan for his part. Nicely done. Campbell one up. Is this to stay that way?
Stay still, please. Thank you.
He's been working very hard with his coach, Jonathan Yarvin, trying to get more consistent, because he is one of the world's finest players, but doesn't produce it week in, week out, and certainly hasn't this season. One up, 3 to play.
Awkward, this. He's a short game magician.
Ernie at the 10th, par 3, and a putt to get back to all square against Angel Cabrera. Not rolling in the putts this season. He certainly hasn't rolled in the putts as he once did.
McKeel for a 3. This to win the hole. And he's done it. He's 3 up. And Tiger made a bit of a comeback. He was 3 down at lunch and won the first 2 holes after lunch, but he's back to 3 down, and McKeel looking good again.
Okay, so 6 up, 6 to play. Second to the 13th. Maybe not over yet. Prolong the agony for Retief Goosen. Just an iron off the tee at the 8th for Sean McKeel. Getting to the stage of the match where even the total non-believers that Tiger might possibly lose this are starting to have doubts about their faith in the great man. He's 3 down with 10 holes remaining.
Wasn't very far from me, really.
And a little bit of rain begins to pitter-patter around the West Course.
From the middle of the fairway, David Howell, 189 yards, got a 6 iron.
Be right. Just about, and that's coming more up the slope towards the hole. Not too bad there at all.
And Montgomery finding the fairway also, which was a bit of a relief after this morning's tee shot out of bounds. Just a 7 iron in.
I see Paul Casey 6 up with 6 to play against Retief Goosen. Some of the matches we're not seeing quite so much of. Mike Weir 3 up and Adam Scott, and Robert Carlson 4 up on the world number 2 and Ryder Cup stalwarts Jim Furyk. Cabrera 1 up on Ernie Els, and Luke Donald 4 to the good now against Tim Clark. As we saw just a moment ago, Sean McKeel going 3 up on Tiger Woods. This one could finish here. We said that Paul Casey was keeping it going with a rather loose second shot, but looser still was Retief Goossens. He's hiding behind a hoarding. Now, if that hoarding can be moved, a movable obstruction, which here come the stout yeomen. If it weren't able to be moved, he would get a drop. But they have screwdrivers and they have a will, and it's away. Doesn't really make the shot any easier. Coming over that bunker onto a downslope.
With just a little bit of rain falling now, Tiger having just missed the 8th fairway, only just, and the ball sitting up like a coconut. Ideal line in from 151 yards. You can really never tell what he has in mind. Normally it would only be wedge or a 9-iron for him. He may even just try and caress an 8-iron in here. But whatever he does have in mind, he's going to have to put it into operation very well and fairly rapidly.
Hasn't been peppering the pin with his iron shots either. Going a little too far at the 7th, now at the 8th, just slightly misjudging his distance and control.
A great shot. We may be here for a moment longer in this match. Goosen 6 down against Paul Casey. Casey with a fiddly little up and down to come. Sean McKeel just about through the run out into the little sort of crosswalk of rough. Well, Tiger Woods is not firing on all cylinders, but Sean McKeel is winning this match. He's taking control of it through his own good play. Raising the world's number 1, Tiger Woods, and 2, Jim Furyk, are on the wrong end of the scorelines against McKeel and Carlson at the moment.
Casey down in 2, and it's all over. And that is delightfully done. What a tremendous performance from Paul Casey this afternoon. Sure what's going on. Perhaps Retief's lost count.
A little bit of confusion about how many Casey's in for. And obviously he's in for 5 because they're playing on. So we can only assume Casey back to 5 as they head to the 14th.
did notice Casey was very near to the cart path down the right-hand side off the tee. Maybe here's a penalty drop. I don't know. Anyway, they're going on. The computer says Casey 5, Goosen 4.
Thought Goosen had lost his marbles and was just going to play in. Shall we play in? So this is the new bit of water that was brought in just before the BMW Championship in May, stretching down the left-hand side of the 8th and prowling around in the green, an unhappy Tiger.
Now still waters run quite deep. A moment ago were bespeckled by the falling rain, which has now stopped. But if Tiger should not get this and McKeel does, the heat is really going to be on.
Thought he had it. He thought he had it. He didn't, and McKeel has another chance. I wonder if Tiger were to depart the scene slightly early, if he may head back to Florida for a quick stay before coming back over to the Ryder Cup. Be very early to head over to Dublin.
Regret missing that one later on. That was a crucial putt. So it's a half in 4. Didn't expect to hold those ones, but it would have been a handy lead. 4 up with 9 to play. So just 3 up for Sean McKeel.
Still not sure entirely what for. We will find out. That is why he is only 5 up and not 6 up, poor love. Anyone else to win the hole at the 11th? Just can't claw his way back against Cabrera. It's a generous concession from Cabrera. The Argentine player remains 1 to the good.
Chance slipping by for Khan, so a chance for Campbell. Go 2 up, with 2 to play. In the story of the day, holes won with pars rather than birdies, but it won't bother Michael Campbell if he goes through. Seeded 1 against the 16 seed Khan.
Well, I think that will be that very, very shortly. Well, that ball's not finished yet either. But Hussein may well be. The Ken Browns just going to take a quick break, and Peter Alliss has rejoined us in the commentary box.